never thought I'd be...
I need more still.
going back to Galawain's tusks.
Envoy, we need to discuss what you did in the ruins. I just hope we made the right decision. Those ruins are priceless.
I'm gonna have the same
and I
conversation
truly
4
look
times, so I
forward to
get it.
exploring them again in the future, but I don't know that I'll ever truly accept what we did.
This is where I'm like, but
What
she made a
I
group
did.
chat.
Usually, I know the right answer. It's obvious. Here, though,
And then make Ludwig's day worse.
I'll drink to that, dear. Things have been unreal. We spoke to actual ancient Akedans in the ruins. I was able to ask questions and get answers.
The answers were a little underwhelming though.
I imagine some things were lost in translation. People have evolved in many ways since then, including linguistically. Give me time, and I'll absolutely impress you with their responses. But to go through the trials ourselves? Oh, could we be any luckier?
Trials were worth it when we feel like we know where I belong now.
Fascinating. I can't imagine what it was like to grow up a godlike with no god. I'm glad you got answers, sweetheart. Well, I have to start writing this all down before I forget. But do return. Don't mind if I do.
Thirdborn. If it weren't for the Leviathan skeleton in the middle of town, I'd hardly recognize the place.
Oh, so.
Well, that's what I'm trying to nail down. You ever come back to a place and feel like the buildings are smaller and the colors are duller?
Indeed, even the pleasures of court fade over time.
It's not that I've gotten tired of the place. It's like it's shrunken and dried out, like an old gourd. Thirdborn was always this rugged oasis, dangerous and out of the way, but bursting with vitality. It was a harbor for larger-than-life types. People like Capo, the Leviathan Slayer, and Tama. Glory seekers, trophy hunters, warriors trying to leave their battles behind.
And now.
People who built around their stories and their scars. All that vigor's been wrung dry. Being back, it felt like we were watching Thirdborn die a slow death.
Thirdborn have probably changed over the years, but so have you.
Yeah, but I thought age was supposed to bring wisdom. Something to balance out the back pains and creaky knees. I think what's eating at me is that Thirdborn seems rudderless. The Dream Scourge is one threat. Conflict with Adir is another. The Living Lands is changing, and Thirdborn feels like a barnacle on a moving ship. Temeriti's leading them as best she can, but towards what? What are we doing out here besides surviving?
Sometimes surviving is enough.
For a while, I suppose. Eventually, you need more. For the longest time, I was just running from Tama's death. Thanks to you, I'm starting to think about what I might head towards. What about you? You were sent by your emperor to investigate the Dream Scourge. Since then, you've died, met a secret god, and gotten swept up in tensions between your empire and our scattered settlements. You released Igwolf, but you didn't stop the Steelgrowth's attack on Fjord. Do you know what you're sailing towards, or are you drifting with the tides?
Hildgard and Lodwyn aren't the final words. I'm little Adir's interest in my own ways. Follow my principles, not my commands.
That kind of clarity is rare. Thanks for talking. Well, shake the sand out of you. Seeing Capo like that was hard, Envoy. But I'm glad you didn't give him the hard. He's always been the toughest among us. And even if he won't admit it, he doesn't want anyone seeing him at his weakest. But it's more important that he say his goodbyes. Properly.
Letting him end his life that way would have been cruel to Chico.
They would have taken it hard. I'm glad we could spare them that much. And about Capo's secret. I wish you'd let it out. Strange as it feels to say this. After dealing with my past, it feels like we're keeping a big part of the man he was from the people who knew him best. Well, don't get me wrong. I know these revelations are messy, but
It's also like,
I can take watch. I'll be up a while anyway.
instead of taking just half
Oh, you might know this, Mark.
the
I might.
What's it called? It's just, the dude died and he's like full of it. Who cares?
So, we found a map to the garden. Now we see how accurate those ancient godless cartographers could possibly be. Not sure how helpful that map will be, really. There's probably a reason no one's been to the garden in centuries.
The first centuries you got an expedition to the garden.
That'll be cold comfort when everyone thinks I'm crazy for saying I've been there. I figure either it's a complete dud and there's nothing really there, or we all lose our minds the second we show up. Either way, was it worth it? Who knows?
Worth it to me. I have no choice. Finding $7 in the way I'll have a piece.
I get it, those visions, or whatever you're having must be really disturbing. But how do you know they won't just get worse? I guess that's not my problem, really. My job is to keep you alive, whether you've got a god in your head or not. Just don't do anything stupid, all right?
I'll be okay.
Anyway.
That's enough. Get some rest. And then we talk to you again.
Too. Listen, that back there in the ruins, that was a lot. I know you passed 3 trials, but I'm not sure what that means exactly.
I had to appease the spirits. I didn't mean anything by it. Doesn't mean anything by it.
Right. Makes sense. The important thing is that you did it. It's not that I didn't enjoy tromping around in the ancient death trap, getting bossed around by spirits and all that. But I really do hope this was the last time. That kind of humidity does terrible things to my beard. Anyway. Let's not do that again. Let's stay out of Archmage's domains from now on. Sure, we made it out alive, but that outcome felt out of my hands more than I'd like.
Being Ringroom ever wanted to hurt us?
Oh, that small army of skeletons she sent after us might care to differ. Anyway, I'm glad to be out of there. Time to curl up with some jerky and a few swigs of Wodak. Anyway. Pleasant dreams.
How could they? Beloved that you are, and still they bared their fangs. We blessed the Tabaru Sinakis, and they prick us in return.
I trust you, but you can't deny that there were some casualties.
Blood on the wire. Roots like a wall. We only meant to protect. We thrashed against the blinding light to keep the Akita safe. We never wanted this. So many seedlings lost. We grieved, but we saved many.
Sometimes our emotions drive us to do terrible things, I understand.
The burned queen. She hurt us, hurt our people. She did this. Yet still the branches swipe. We mourn, we could not be to blame. They should have shared our love. Their spite? This we could not foresee. But you are here. A green shoot after the fire. You would not raise your hand against us.
Never.
The blossom of trust. A hand as soft as the breeze. Sleep now. Dream of golden poppies on the road ahead. Fine. Yeah, the Marius.
Three dozen dead? Of no apparent causes? They just fell over. Like their hearts were stopped in their chest. What did you do, Envoy? I know you're involved somehow.
I'm sorry, there was no other option.
Bullshit. There was always another option. Something better than this massacre. Dozens are dead, Envoy. Their loved ones scream for them. What was all this for?
I don't know any more to mention. I only hope it was the right decision.
I hope your fucking decisions haunt you forever. You've cost so many families their loved ones.
I need your permission to let me go to Galloway's Tusk.
You have my permission to go anywhere else. Get out of my sight, Envoy.
Bye-bye.
Watch your back out here, traveler.
Ludwig may have a skull for a face, but her fury was clear enough. If her path crosses ours again, it'll be ugly.
That's okay.
Frankly, I'll take any opportunity we get to ruin Ludwig's day.
I'll say this much for the Inquisitor. She's stubborn, like a rat. And I plan on hunting her like a rat.
I'd say we shouldn't stay on her bad side, but I'm not sure she has any other sides.
You know her better than any of us. What's your read?
I've heard the rumors of the court. Ludwig looks a lot scarier than she is.
I mean, she looks really blessed as scary, though.
Yes, well, we've only seen her in her terrifying armor. Imagine her in a frilly dress. Oh, the stuff of nightmares.
Very funny.
Well, the joke's on her in any case. Ludwig won't get very far without that map. She'll be scratching her skull.
Somehow, I don't think she'll let that stop her for long.
And Ludwig definitely strikes me as someone who doesn't leave food on her plate.
I can deal with her if I have to.
I believe it. And we'll cross that bridge with you when we get to it.
Ludwig and her steel garrote have the numbers and the power. But we have spunk and a map. And that might just be enough to find the garden before she does.
We're all competing for the same thing. A place we barely understand, with no guarantees of what we'll find there. Still, I am determined to reach the garden, above all else.
Ugh, that's just a pile of Sokka.
You know something we don't?
Generally, debatable, but about the garden, definitely. You won't find a blessed thing. This wild beetle chase of yours is a Page-Raku waste of time. To get to the garden, you have to go through Galloway's tusks. The land is made of lava and acid. It wants to eat you alive.
So it's tough odds. We've gotten this far together.
Tough odds is an extra Zarb jumping in at the last minute. This is a long trek, on foot, through a land that can barely support life.
Maybe that means no side quests.
I don't have to be a Blessed Oracle to know this won't go how you think it will.
I want to find the courage, cause of the dream's courage, and the garden is our best clue.
And all your clues come from one source. You've been following a voice in your head. What do you know about Soppadal? How do you know you can trust them?
You know, I hit just in my head. They have powerful connection to the age right here.
I hate to be the voice of reason, but we are talking about a god. There are limits to what we can even comprehend.
I have a powerful connection to my Blessed flute, but I'm not about to take orders from it.
What's on your mind, Marius? What bothers you so?
Because I can scream until I'm blue in the face, and you people would still rather trust the Envoy's pet headache demon. And now you want to drag us through the deadliest region in the world because a sleeping god said so.
Something happened to you in Galloway's Tusks.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm done here. Do whatever blessed planning you want to do. You don't need me for that.
Let's just take a breath, Marius. You don't mean that.
Nope. I said what I said. Come get me when it's time to go.
Poor Marius. Something's really rattled him.
I've never seen Marius like this. Something's going on with him, but I don't know what.
Be gentle with him. Or if not gentle, understanding.
Well, hopefully Marius will be okay soon. We have to get going if we want to get to the garden before Ludwig.
We won't get far unless we look after each other. Now's your chance.
I've been trying to sort my thoughts since we left her domain. We met Ringrim. The Ringrim. Master illusionist of the Circle of Archmagi. And we impressed her? She even offered to make me her apprentice. As smart as you are, Envoy, I sometimes forget that you are still a layperson. It doesn't feel real, but it is. Oh, Handra's titties. What am I going to do? If I take the apprenticeship, I'll have to leave Quilici and Fjord. And what about my study of the Godless? I've spent my whole life with them. I'm not a kid anymore. I can't do everything all at once. There are only 26 hours in a day. I love my life as it is now. Exploring as I wish and coming home to open arms and a warm bed. I don't want to give that up. But this is something I never even dreamed of. But it's big. It won't leave room for much else. And I'm too old to... Oh, Envoy. What would you do? I know. That's the whole issue. I've learned magic through my own means, reading and studying on my own. How much more could I learn with her? And how much faster? Within a fortnight, I could rule the world.
As if you need an archmage for that. You could rule the world with a smile.
Thank you, dearie. I can't promise I'll act on it, but I really appreciate the advice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to write a letter to Quilici. He'll never believe me.
I know what you're gonna say. Marius, you need to slow down. Think about your feelings. Well, I don't want to think about my feelings. So just let me be alone for a bit. I don't... Right, I guess I was. I just... really don't want to go. Just the thought of going back to Galawain's tusks makes my heart feel like it's going to explode. I sweat. My ears ring. I can't breathe. When it seems like we're really heading there, I feel like... Right. Thanks. I understand not wanting to go back, but why can't I just thinking about it makes me feel ill. I need some time alone, Envoy.
Does this amuse you, seeing your kin caged like beasts?
No true kin would desert Solace. All we have are our oaths to Nandru, and you broke them.
I've seen punishment for deserting the military, but a settlement.
The damn oaths again. You might as well be the one in chains. Our founder, Nandru, didn't intend for his people to starve. I'd bet you my kidneys he didn't build Solace Keep so we can die of starvation in it. No, he would have wanted us to live.
Honestly, I don't care anymore. I'm getting too hungry to even think.
That's not for you to decide. Mahala's going to make an example of them, before more make a run on the gates.
You're an obedient little soldier, but you're not a smart one. You just told the outsider everything.
Quiet. We'd appreciate it if you'd leave.
Yeah, don't need a blessed outsider pretending they know anything. Move along.
Can't imagine why you even set foot here. These are Pargrunen lands, last I checked.
Meaning mind your tongue and your judgment while you're here, outsider. These folk have done. There's no food. We barely have decent meals ourselves. Why waste any of it on people who won't stay and fight?
Saka, don't tell the outsider that! These bastards wanted to abandon the keep. I hate that you have a point. Fine. Those fools can have half our rations. Do you want anything else? I'm sick of looking at you.
Fine. Anything to be done looking at you. Follow the main road north and then east. You'll find some dirt paths to follow after you hit the cliffs. Now mind your business.
We've got company!
Take your best shot.
Looks like the Beatles have settled in now.
I used to wonder if the stories about the tusks were just a trick to keep the rest of us out. Another glorious battle.
You asked for it! Can we finish here? Quickly? Before I lose my lunch?
So true.
I will never complain about Marius' laundry habits again. This one's mine.
Someone's eager to meet us. Did that even hurt them?
That all you have? Nice shot.
hot.
Back. That should be good for the for a while. Was anything down here? Just no Mabasol. I gotta you were the boss bounty for the area. Oh no, you don't.
They all just...
Wonder what the hunting is like in Adir.
Hunting out here.
stock up. If it can happen to you...
I do want to eat my food.
Need to get to this before the mortar dries. Need to get this fixed. Don't want to end up like Fjord.
I don't think we're gonna be getting up there. But you should invest in the ladder, brother. Oof.
Don't think
Ixoxado.
Some ways this, some ways that. Don't see why that matters when we're so near to
Ixoxado. Merchant?
Radut, be reasonable. We can't live out here like this.
Listen, we're besieged by Mali and her outsiders. Lorraine still begs me to search for the missing Adiran merchant convoy, but we're stretched too thin even for that. I only ask you to hold on a bit longer until a replacement comes.
Hey, I will try. But this can't last.
Oh, what a large tower. Do you think the one...
Another Adiran. Damned if I ever saw the like. So you're the envoy they reported at the gate. Bates turning away the refugees from Shatterscarp, at least. Is it true that many drop dead suddenly?
Better than the alternative.
The alternative? I confess I'm ignorant about life beyond the borders, but... never mind. You're here, and I'm glad for it. The sentries were right about you. You have the same features as Arnandru. Taller, of course, but nevertheless. I'm going to treat this as a good omen. Nandru himself knows we need one out here. Founder of Solace Keep. We have a statue of him there. You both share similar features around the face, huh? Anyway, the Tusks never offered us much, and that was before the Beatles rose in their numbers. Never mind the Zorims, or the Dream Scourge.
Amelia, who's that?
The worst of them all is what she is. We can handle vermin, but to face one of your own... She and I used to command this tower in turn. I and my wardens kept watch while she and hers rested in the keep. And so too the reverse. Until her last watch, that is. when she and her wardens abandoned their post and marched on the gate and tried to leave.
Why do they do that?
Because life in the tower is torture. We're low on supplies. The Vastes are leaning against us. They had made a request to the keep for aid. After it was denied, her warden spoke of mutiny. And after that, well, fighting broke out at the gate. My wardens and I rushed from our leave when we heard the alarms. Drove Amalia back. Now she set up camps in the Vastes. Main one is just up north in the Twined Wood. Another just west of there, in a tower. Another east, in a cave.
It sounds like she just wants to leave.
She's broken her oath, and I'm trying to find a way to uphold mine.
What oath do you refer?
To watch over the garden. It is this that keeps us bound to the tusks. Our oaths are mortal matters.
Oaths and traditions should serve the living. If Amalia's struggling here, why shouldn't she leave?
Should we die with an oath unfulfilled, our spirits will linger until another of our wardens sees it completed. And if one of our own breaks an oath, it is a death sentence.
Any other way to resolve this?
All I want is peace with her. But our talks, such as they were, have totally broken down. Whenever I approach, she just tells me to stay away from the land beneath her banners. And after her raid, after our skirmishes, I don't see how we can talk anymore. But would you be willing to talk to her?
Sure.
You are an envoy, after all. I'm sure I have no demands except that she stops attacking us for treading near her camps. But she says she won't stop until they can all leave. And I can't grant her passage out of the tusks. She has no duty out there. Nor can I grant her one. I don't know how to break the stalemate. But I'll quit talking your ear off. Thank you for indulging me. If you see Amalia or any of her camps, I hope you can get through to them.
Hey, I might have something for you, envoy. If you're buying...
Can you do this?
I'm not quite sure what you're holding there. But if anyone can help you, it's Forge Master Della. You can find them in the forge in Solace Keep. If...
Adraban. Roll command. It's all my money. That would be all of my money. Damage reduction, movement speed. You're cracked. Unlock the fast travel. Something back to what's his face, I forgot about that. Not that I'm really worried about it. Sieht auf der Party.
Envoy, last time I was here, I was fully convinced I'd never be back.
Must have left on the best terms.
I left Solace under the cover of darkness, through an exit only me and a friend of mine knew about. More importantly, I left without permission, which means I more or less exiled myself.
Must have had your reasons.
I did. Might come a time when I'm ready to talk about it. You'll see when we get there. Solace isn't the most welcoming place, even to those who live there. Anyway. If I must.
Rawatayans love to boast about how barren and rugged our homeland is. But we've got nothing on the Pargrunan living here. I can't fault your optimism, but would you think that if this was the only landscape you ever saw, day in and day out? According to Marius, his people are forbidden from ever leaving the Tusks.
I did tell you that, didn't I? Must have been drunk.
I'm all for pulling together, but that's just oppressive.
Right. Our sacred duty. To talk nicely about the garden once in a while and spend the rest of our time bickering among ourselves.
I just don't understand how that could be so important. Rawatai has a similar problem. Between the constant storms and the rocky soil, the land's never supported us easily. So many of us find work as sailors and mercenaries. We explore the world as soldiers or as part of a trade mission. We venture out. We're encouraged to. Not everyone, of course, but Rawatai's hardly a dying country. Everyone in the Living Lands faces struggle, but people choose that, and usually to escape something worse. Forcing people into a lifetime of hardship for the sake of principle will be covered in ash by morning.
We're on the precipice of something magical. You can feel it, can't you? The garden is within our grasp.
I'll that for a minute. Okay.
Your confidence is refreshing. I almost hate to ask, but are you afraid of what's to come? I'm not judging, just
It's feeling a little
curious.
homesick.
I know what you mean. Even if home were right in front of me, it wouldn't be the same. I believe, for the first time in ages, that I am not afraid. I used to care so much about discovery, invention, achievement. But deep down, I was afraid. Afraid that I wasn't living up to my potential. You've been paying attention. Since we met, everything I believed has been proven wrong. That the island can be controlled. That I alone can fix it. Even my parents. Gods. They really had no idea what they were doing. Just like me. They truly did. But I'm not going to repeat their mistakes. I'm so tired of being afraid. I need to accept my limitations or embrace them. Even if I'm wrong again, that's part of the journey. I have no idea where it leads. And for the first time, it's fine. Did I? Huh. I don't know what I expected. Feels nice. Glad I could get that off my chest. We have bigger problems to worry about, but I appreciate these little moments. You have an inquisitive mind. I respect that. If you ever feel your education is missing something, I'd be happy to teach you what I know. All you have to do is ask. Excellent. The Imperial Court taught you well, but I suspect there were gaps in what they call an education. If there's anything you've been dying to learn from an Animancer, now's the time. Very well. Hold your questions to the end if you don't mind. Otherwise, I'll lose my train of thought. Now, let's begin. You, drifted off for a moment. Were you paying attention?
Hanging on to every word.
Really? What's the last thing I said?
Remember the fight that broke out during the thesis defense?
Oh, I stand corrected. Even if you had dozed off, no harm done. Besides, a little nap is good for the soul. I slept through my share of lectures, and look how I turned out. That's all I have to teach you for now. I'll chime in if anything else comes to mind. If I must.
Oh, gods. Anyone else finding it?
when you get the component to be able to craft it. What do we need for our weapons? Blackwood branch? Why don't I can make that? I can. Cave coral. We're out. That's okay. Balrock. This is my issue is I thought there was 5 areas because of this. But it just takes the same stuff. No, glass wood. Maybe that's like a very tiny area.
Oh,
Everything I see is that this is the last major area. I do need just 1 minute to go to take care of my kitchen. And throw the dishwasher on after we talk to our god.
In the dark, the mountains shift in.
What's that, bud? I'm tired. What's eating you?
The sulfur scalds. We do not like to linger in this place.
You won't stay in Tusk too long. We'll find a garden and get out.
The rushes stir. We smell danger. Obstacles in the path. Beast of treachery smells you. It stalks you across the land. A sword for a settlement, the scorpion promises to protect. Rose today, thorn tomorrow.
Bothers you a great deal, doesn't it?
Another time, a distant ache. A hidden strike, a bond bleeds in silence. Have your hands known this?
I've been tempted, but I've never been betrayed anyone, and I never will.
An oak, everlasting. Why?
When I make a promise, I keep it.
A certain spring. The bloom always succeeds the frost. The storm blows, others falter. What good is a vow if it can break?
We have to trust each other, not everyone is a potential enemy.
Trust. We have learned much. Dream of dandelions with 2 heads.
Okay, I'll be back in just a few minutes. Last marker. End of Avowed 3? I think. 255. 345. 4. Wait, what? 255. 345.